Welcome to my channel, Jasmine Talks. This is a channel where I talk. Today I just wanted to make this video about a book that I love called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. I've learned a lot from it and I thought I'd share it with you. I hope this doesn't make the author mad, but I'm going to go through basically each chapter and give you a snippet about each one. It's just so you can sort of see like what the main idea of the book is. Alright, so I took some notes here, and starting with chapter 1, right off the bat, the author is talking about how nothing is original. There's nothing new under the sun. So basically, if you think you're being original, you're probably not as original as you thought. And that's okay, because everyone has to get inspiration from somewhere, right? You should be collecting ideas from wherever you can get ideas from, and you should be writing them down because you don't want to forget them. And you should definitely take a pen and a paper with you everywhere you go, because you never know when inspiration is going to hit you and you don't want to miss it. Write that stuff down for later. Austin sort of calls it saving your thefts for later, because apparently when you're inspired by something, it's sort of like you're stealing. So that's where he's going with that. I like what he said about getting inspired by like people talking in the background and then just like writing down words that they're saying or phrases. I personally love that idea. I would use that if I could remember to. As a songwriter, I personally like to carry pen and paper around with me, and I also like to write things down. I also like to record into some recording device like a phone or my iPad, just so if I come up with a really cool tune or something and I want to like go behind a building somewhere and like record it into that device, I can do that. I like to be a little more private when I create. Even when I'm in public. Record it. Always record, record, record. Don't wait until you know who you are to start creating. What? Don't wait. That's not what it says. But that's basically what it was saying. Don't wait until you know who you are to get started. That sounds more like an excuse, and it's stupid because basically you're gonna get old and die and then you're gonna be like dead, so you could have just been creating. What the book says in this chapter 2, is that the more you go out and find inspiration, the more you will start to learn about yourself. Because then you can go back and look at all that you've created, and that will basically tell you a lot about yourself, I think. So there's this saying that you may hear often, I know I've heard it often, and it's fake it till you make it. Well, that sort of saying kind of, rubs me the wrong way. I don't actually think you should ever fake anything that you're doing. You should definitely try new things, I don't see how that makes you fake. It just means that you're finding out more about yourself through branching out. So I don't really think you're trying to be somebody else to get somewhere in life. If you feel uncomfortable doing something new, there's a chance that if you keep doing that uncomfortable thing, it will become something that you really love over time. If you don't give things time, you'll never know if they're really the thing for you. So when you're trying new things in your craft, make sure that you've given it enough thought, effort, time to sort of fit you. You know, you can always customize things to fit you. But if you feel like they don't fit you still after a while, then you're probably not being true to yourself, because you need to go back to doing what you were doing before or try something new. But don't do that just because other people want you to. Be yourself, be authentic, and don't fake it till you make it. Just keep being authentic until you make it. Another sort of bullet point from that chapter that I liked was good theft versus bad theft. Anything you do, you had to imitate somebody else to do that thing. I'm a songwriter, but before I knew what songwriting was, I had to find out that there were other people out there that did songwriting. So technically I imitated them because I was inspired by them, and I learned from them how to do things, and I got my own style and added my own flavor to whatever it was that I was imitating. Here is what to do and what not to do when you're stealing. Let me see, which ones do I like? Credit, that's a good one. If you're like using a sample or something in your music, you should probably give credit to the person that originally had written that thing that you sampled. I like this one too. Study versus skim. If you're skimming through things trying to get quick answers and quick solutions, and you're not actually digging into the study material or research, whatever you're doing, you are going to lose out, because you are going to miss something that could have been a puzzle piece in the grand scheme of what you are trying to learn about. So basically you're cutting yourself short because you didn't want to take the time and effort to actually study. So here's chapter 3, write the book you want to read. If you're doing something you love and that you're passionate about, and you're writing the book you want to read, people are going to catch on to that, and they are going to see that in your writing, in your songwriting, in your music, in your whatever you're doing. This is going to be more geared towards music because that's sort of the lens that I'm coming from, but okay. Use your hands. I like to use my hands, as you can see. What chapter 4 is talking about is basically get off your computer and use that time to make sure that you are using your hands, as in writing, drawing, scrapbooking, collage creating, whatever. Those certain tangible, hands-on things are going to get you out of your head, because computer's very like direct, because you're just like, and you're not really paying attention to any other movement that could be going on outside of your head. And by getting out of your head, you can find more creative ways of doing things. But if you're going to use your computer, which you're probably going to have to use your computer at some point, what I like to do is I'm always looking up new words. Like if I just so happen to be working on my desktop, I will go ahead and take advantage of the resource that the internet is. I'm really mad at the dogs in my neighborhood right now because they're relentless, and they don't care about my feelings, and they don't care like what I'm doing, and they're only thinking about themselves. It's just really upsetting me because I want to be able to cry on the spot. I'm not really an actress. that has nothing to do with anything, and I'm sorry that I wasted your time. Chapter 5, a burglar. Chapter 5, side projects and hobbies are important too, okay? I'm a person too, Pop. I'm a person too. The work you do while you procrastinate is probably the work you should be doing for the rest of your life. I had to read that backwards, so sorry. I agree with that. I think songwriting and not playing music as much, just songwriting and singing. Girl, I would love to do that for the rest of my life. I feel like procrastination is really in the eye of the beholder. What you're doing that you love, how is that procrastinating? If that's the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life. The next thing that he talked about in this chapter is do lots of projects. Is he sneezing? Is he dying? Okay. Also, no, he's just yelling to yell. Definitely make sure you have more than one project going on at a time, and this will keep you busy and constantly creating, Make sure you have lots of projects that you can bounce between that are going to keep your creative juices flowing, and in the long run, these projects will build your portfolio so you will have things to show for your work. Be bored, and you will eventually not be bored anymore because you will get inspired and you will create. The next point that was made was do not throw anything away. Reuse, recycle, revamp, rewind, restore, revisit. That's a good one. Don't throw anything away, because with every little tiny thing that you've created, that's a part of you, and those are your little babies, and you can't just give them away, and you can't abandon those beautiful creations that you did. I don't understand how people can throw away ideas when ideas are recyclable. You can recycle that ish. You do not have to throw that ish away. Don't be that person that thinks that they weren't good enough when they did something. You created something, and maybe it wasn't the hippest thing on the charts right now, or maybe it wasn't the greatest thing that you've ever written, but it still shows your sort of evolution of where you started and where you are now. And then you can see growth. It's just don't be throwing stuff away. Don't toss your ideas into the garbage to try to find that one marvelous piece of work. You can throw away ideas, but you can also throw away your passions. Both things are not things you should be throwing away. When I was in college, I was constantly in limbo between music, dance, dance. I can't do both because I am freaking... Is this High School Musical? Are you Troy Bolton? What's going on? You ever think maybe I could be both? You just have to... You have to manage your time better. And realize that artistic things, hobbies, passions, you can smush them together and they can fit together perfectly, and you can do projects that use more than one of your skills. Hey look, I can do more than one thing. Look, I can juggle. I am a cool person. You should like me. And then people will like you. The last thing I wanted to talk about from chapter 5 is the thing that unifies your work is you. Don't worry so much if there's a dog barking. Because as long as you're being authentic in your art, you are going to have a unified, it's going to be unified. Alright everybody, here's the big secret. Do good work and share it with people. Yay! That's what you have to do. Don't hide your light under a bushel. Don't leave all your music in folders in your closet and never dust them off and reveal them, Jasmine. Don't keep your demos on your computer and never post them to SoundCloud, Jasmine. Or, get them copyrighted and post them on YouTube, Jasmine. I'm preaching to myself. You have to share your work because no one else is going to do it for you. Unless, you share and then they reshare it, But if you don't originally share your original work, and by original, I mean work that was inspired by influences and things, but that you remixed and created and whatever, then you're losing out. And you're never gonna know if you could have made it or not in the music world because you did not share. Just make sure that the work is good, and by good I mean by, I guess, your own standards of what you think good is. And, make sure that you have a nice brand, like that you've branded yourself well, and you've given people something that they feel like they can trust and that they can recognize. And if it's something that you really like and you're passionate about, then most likely there's going to be other people that like what you created, and then they will support you or like you, etc., etc. I actually, for a long time, have had a lot of trouble with sharing. You can't separate me from my art, so by me sharing my art, I'm being extremely vulnerable, and homegirl doesn't like to be vulnerable because then I feel like I'm gonna get hated by some people, I don't know. But, you gotta get over that, because the sooner you get over that, the sooner you can start sharing and then stop worrying about what everybody thinks, and just kind of look for the people that get you, Look for the people that are on your side, and then team up with them, and then, don't worry about the people that are sitting anonymously behind their desktop and are commenting and are not even creating anything of their own. Like, they have no videos on their YouTube and they are just being a troll, steadily being a troll. Don't worry about them, because, like, what's the saying? Elephants don't swat flies, That's a quote from a famous person who I can't remember who said it. If you're thinking of yourself as an elephant, then you probably aren't worried so much about the flies, because the flies are just buzzing around, and you're like stomping around. So don't worry about them. Don't worry about the haters. Just share your art. Another thing to not worry about when you are sharing is your art getting stolen. Like someone's gonna walk up into your museum of your creations and then take your best and most expensive picture from your gallery and just walk out of the museum with it. Like, what is that? Like, who's gonna do that? I mean, people have done that, but who's going to do that, really? I don't know, but it still scares me. That's another reason I've had trouble sharing, is because my work's not yet fully copyright protected. I mean, I own it because I created it, but it's not yet like uploaded and secured into the U.S. Copyright Office of the U.S. of Copyright. So, I actually do need to take the extra precaution of making sure that I do that, because I do value my work, and if someone were to steal it for some odd reason because they thought it was just the greatest thing in the whole world, then I'd want some money for that. I don't know, I guess that's better than nothing. So, there's that. Alrighty. Alright. So, she wants to dance like Uma Thurman. I'm just kidding. That's not how it goes. I know it's Uma. Calm down. What I was going to say is that I'm going to make this here video part 1, and then I'm going to make a part 2 because I just, let's be realistic here and understand that we do need to make a part 2. Steal Like an Artist, part 2, coming your way. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel because I'm one of those people that wants you to do that. Stay true to who you are, be authentic, create, be bored, do something you're passionate about, do multiple things you're passionate about, and remember that nothing is entirely original and you can get inspiration from anywhere. Make sure you're keeping all the work that you create, maybe recycling it, taking pieces of it for works that you're creating now. Just do it. Uma Thurman, I don't know the words to the song. Oh yeah, wait. There's his office. He's so creative. Look, he has hands-on materials and a computer. Well, so do I. Maybe I should write a book about it. Steal like an